I packed a decoy sandwich with wasabi and my brother-in-law spat it out. So my brother-in-law Derek moved in with us back in October. It was supposed to be a 2-week thing while his lease sorted itself out. It's been 4 months. I'm not gonna get into all of that because honestly that's a whole separate mess, but the short version is he sleeps in our office and he eats like a man who has never once in his life bought his own groceries. And look, I meal prep. I've done it for years. Sunday night I make 5 lunches, I label them, I stack them in the fridge, and that's my week handled. It's the one thing that keeps my mornings from falling apart because I leave the house at 6 a.m. and I do not have time to think. Around November I started noticing my lunches going missing. Not every day, just like one would vanish. I'd reach in Tuesday and there'd be a gap where Wednesdays should be. I figured maybe I miscounted, then it happened again, then again. So I asked, at dinner, real casual, hey, anybody been grabbing my lunches out of the fridge? And Derek goes, without even looking up, the ones on the second shelf? Yeah, those are so good, man. The turkey one especially. Like it was a compliment, like I'd made them for him. My wife kicked me under the table because she could see my face doing something, so I let it go that night. Later she's like, he doesn't get it, just talk to him. So I talked to him. I said, hey, those lunches are portioned for my week, please don't take them. He said, oh my bad, totally, won't happen again. It happened again that Thursday. I labeled them after that. Actual masking tape with my name and the day written on it. Monday, Ryan. Tuesday, Ryan. He ate Wednesday, Ryan, and left the tape balled up on the counter. I found it next to the sink like a little trophy. At this point, my wife's still saying give it time, he's stressed, he's job hunting. And I want to be a good guy about it. I do, but I'm now buying extra food out of my money to cover the meals I already made that keep disappearing for a grown man who tells me they're so good like I run a deli for him. So I stopped asking. Sunday night, I made my 5 like always, but I made a 6th. Same bread, same turkey, same everything on the outside. And inside, instead of my usual spicy mustard, I loaded it with wasabi. Not a little. I mean, I built it. A thick green layer, edge to edge, the kind that goes straight up into your skull. I wrapped it identical to the others, and I put it front and center on the second shelf. His shelf, apparently. I labeled my real ones and tucked them behind it. Monday, I'm making coffee at like 6:15, and Derek's up early for once, digging in the fridge. I don't say anything. I just watch him grab the front sandwich, the decoy, and take this huge, confident bite standing at the counter. For a second, nothing. Then his whole face changes. He makes this sound I've genuinely never heard a person make, and he spits it into the sink. Full spit. He's coughing, eyes streaming, going, what is that? What did you put in that? And I said, oh, that one's not labeled. He goes, it tastes like it's trying to kill me, dude. I said, weird. Must be one of mine. Second shelf, right? He just stared at me with his eyes watering, and I could see it land. He knew that I knew, and he knew exactly what shelf he'd been eating off of for 2 months. He didn't say anything. He rinsed his mouth for like a full minute and went back to the office. My wife heard the commotion and came out, and when I told her what happened, she got quiet, and then she said, you booby-trapped food in our own house. And I said, I put a sandwich on a shelf. He ate a sandwich that wasn't his. Only difference is this time it wasn't good. She said that was mean. Maybe. But here's the thing, nobody in that kitchen wanted to say out loud. I've asked nicely. I've asked twice. I labeled it. I bought extra. I did every reasonable version of this and got a balled up piece of tape by the sink for my trouble. The only message that ever actually reached him was the one he tasted. He came to me that night, still a little hoarse, and said, that was kind of messed up, man. I said, yeah. So is eating Wednesday Nash, Ryan, for 8 weeks straight. We both did something messed up. Only one of us is gonna keep doing it. He hasn't touched the second shelf since.